Hey there, beloved Ascension Pioneers. Welcome back to my woods and another update. This one will be about, no mosquitoes, please. It won't be about mosquitoes, but it will be about relationships. So, someone asked me just recently when I came back from my nature retreat, I received this question about relationships and transition and all those people who are transitioning, divorcing, separating, all of those things, that come along with shifts. Because as you know, not everyone is choosing the same, and I've said this many times. I even made this video about transition in relationships once. I deleted it after because I deleted some of the old things that were no longer in resonance. But I would like to discuss some of those things and more, because I feel something is really important to be addressed here, and something that I'm experiencing myself on my journey, and I would like to share this from my heart space to yours, and I hope it can help you on your journey as well. So what this person asked me, it's very hard to discuss this because, they asked me to share how you can transition in this. If I can share some pointers, because, every soul is choosing their own shift and their own physical life changes and according to their internal shifts individually. And all of the experiences will be unique, so it's kind of very difficult for me to give pointers and guidelines. It can be this very general topic on relationships and how we can transition with love instead of fear, because what happens is, and I've been saying this many times, when we say that we're just running away out of relationships and just recreating those cycles again, and when we think we're cutting cords with people in our lives, we're really not doing anything if we have not learned anything with that, and if our awareness hasn't expanded. So in regards to that, we will keep recreating those conditions for ourselves and certain similar experience in order for us to really starting embodying our soul awareness and integrating more of that higher understanding. So it's kind of very hard for me, to say, okay, I will give you guys relationship advice, how to transition to this, because it's such a personal experience and it's such a deep, sacred experience, Many people are choosing to end their relationships for different reasons as well. Not all of them are choosing this because they really are ready for and they've really learned something and then really they started a new awareness cycle and starting to embody their soul. But a lot of people are forcing themselves because what I experience when many people write to me is they share with me, up until now I wasn't aware about twin souls and I was reading about this and now I want this and now I decided to end my old relationship. Well, this simply isn't really coming from a space of love and awareness, is it? Because it's like the ego sees something, like for example, you get a puppy in a store. A child gets a puppy and a child is, doesn't have that awareness yet, how to be totally responsible and so on. And then a child, once again, when they have a puppy, maybe they no longer want it on that level. And they see a kitty and say, now I want a kitty. Now I want this. And they haven't learned the proper responsibility, how to take care of it, how to really be responsible if you've gotten an animal. As you know, this is just an example. But a lot of people see relationships in a similar way. And these are not just relationships that we have with other people and our soulmates and twin soul relationships that are of service to others and to all creation, but also with animals and all of it. So I feel it's really time to become self-responsible in all of our relationships. I have gone through my own Saturn return, and when I came in this embodiment, sorry, I was running and I'm really thirsty because I didn't drink a lot of water today, so my sore is kind of throat. What? My throat is kind of sore. Oh gosh, yeah. You see me babble all these things. It's okay. Some funny intros are welcome from time to time. The thing is, first, if we want real mature relationships, we have to become mature people ourselves. We only experience the kind of experiences that will really mirror us and our state of awareness, our state of beingness. So if we want to move from one cycle of being to another, sometimes we will need certain triggers and activators, things. And that's why I said in one of my previous videos about choices, that sometimes you wish for your soulmate or your divine companion who will totally mirror you, but you still are not aware of certain dark aspects of you, and some shadow work needs to be done, and you really need to come into your self-wholeness so you will get the kind of experience that your soul knows is best for you in order for you to realize that. So transitioning in relationships has nothing to do with the ego desires. If you're really stepping into the new, so creating your own inner state of awareness and bliss and peace, the qualities and components of New Earth, and you really wish to experience them, it needs to come through your soul essences. So you develop this first internally and then you shift. maybe for a while you won't get a person who will be directly mirroring that to you, because sometimes we need alone time first to really feel ourselves, to cleanse all the old. Because sometimes, you know, in the old, people have been jumping from one relationship to the next, yeah, and like that is really helpful? Not really, because if you haven't had enough space and time to really integrate the experiences from one relationship so that you wouldn't carry all the baggage into the next one, then you really are just recreating those cycles for you. So first, it's not an advice, but general guideline that is, you know, in compliance with all, no matter what sorts of your personal choices and decisions and experiences will be. These are personal. I cannot give you guidelines for those. How you will go through your own transition. Your soul has these answers. Your soul has these keys for you to unlock. So the first thing is this: maturing in your own relationships, knowing why you wish this transition, really finding out whether it's from ego or it's really from your soul, and you are really doing the conscious self-awareness work, which is not really work, it's flow. So when anything is really in alignment with the divine, it's always flow. It's carefree, it's in flow, it's effortless, you know, it brings you that freedom and expansion. So for all those of you who are transitioning, who are separating, divorcing, all of those things, do know that these choices that are personal will reflect your inner state of awareness. And whatever you get next is not because someone has advised you to do that, or you cannot blame something or assign this responsibility to another anymore, or to your partner. Oh, why did I attract this person now, you know? It really will show you where you are. Every relationship will show you, not like generally where you are, but certain things that still need to be dealt with and need to come to surface and need to be integrated. Huge importance comes from idealizing one another. I personally have this great experience with this, not recently or just since I was awakening, all my life, you know, when I was meeting people of opposite sex, there was always this infatuation from their side, because I always had so much life in me. I always was really, even when I was not that much awakened to my divine core and knowing all these things and sharing them with people who are being of service, I always had that magnetic component because I knew who I was very empowered. I was always, you know, very humorous, playful, childlike, and people, when they met me, it's like the men instantly had this attraction for me. And a lot of the times they confuse this for something greater than it really was, because what we see in each other when we trigger, you know, these soul aspects within one another, is you see yourself in another. You see the potential that you also have within you, and therefore we say you fall in love. But this, you know, true love has nothing to do with this falling in love. Well, it can, but when you truly see the mirror in another, and you know you can merge and create something that can be of the greater benefit to the whole and of service to others and the creation. But a lot of people, I still experience this. I will give you a few examples in my life when they come across me. And they think, first of all, they think they know you, they think you have a special connection with them, they dream about you, and a lot of times they dream about you guiding them somewhere. I remember this experience when someone said to me, oh, you were guiding me in the vortex, do you realize that we will be, you know, entering the vortex of 2012 together? And my first knowing was, no, it has nothing to do with that. It's showing the guidance toward the higher, because I have a lot of people telling me about their dreams when I'm pulling them by the hand, guiding them forward, and these are guidance dreams. A lot of times I have entered into someone's life for a short or a longer or some sort of transition period of their lives when they asked for guidance, and their soul brought them to me so they can have that mirror back, you know, to themselves. It is always about the self. In every relationship, it will always be about the self. Not the selfish kind of way that I'm talking about here, but the deep reflection of source through another. That is why we say namaste to each other. It means the divine within me recognizes and appreciates the divine within you. And as long as we don't learn to appreciate another without these attachments, like, oh, I have a connection with you, oh, we must be astral lovers, oh, we must know each other from past life, oh, we must be twin souls or soulmates or whatever, you know, these are all attachments. When two people are to really find each other this way, they don't need certain analysis or, you know, to reflect in such a way. They will just feel it. But all other things, I've always experienced this, people when they come across me, because I have learned to be the way I am through just being who I am. Haven't learned it anyway. You know, sometimes people come in my path and they say, how do you know all of this? Where have you read it? What does it have to do with your age? I can't understand it. It has nothing to do with age. It has everything to do with soul awareness and divine remembrance. And if you do carry that source integration within you, people will notice. They won't even be aware of it sometimes, but they will notice. On some subtle energetic link, they will be touched by your presence. And oftentimes, I remember my sister Cara of Light said this. Cara of Light. I'm a mess today, I'm sorry guys. My sister of Light, Cara, said this, that a lot of times, especially young ones, they confuse this with being in love with someone. They think, we have something, we need to explore this connection, when in fact, they need to explore themselves. One of the terms I've heard recently was, oh, we need to explore this. I so want to meet you. I so want to meet the real you. And in fact, I heard, my spirit felt, I really wish to feel and embrace my true me. What that person was saying was, I wish to experience the true me as I do myself every day. And when you have that magic, people will be drawn to you. But we have to really learn to not idolize, to not have these attachments. It will not help us on our journey, because a lot of times what I've noticed on my path is people come across, they think you're their lover or a chosen one or a special one, and everybody wants to be in your energy because they sense your source. They want to tune into it. But a lot of times, I've said to you before, guys, we need to tune into our own source. So another can only be your guide and a reflection. And if they're not really your true, partner or divine partner in this lifetime, we just have this experience. And if we're not open to what it is, by the divine showing us, by us, rather analyzing it or searching the true meaning of why we met each other, people constantly do this. They say, we must have met for a reason. I want to know what this is. Or then we give ourselves, these meanings and attributes that we find in our mind. But the divine already knows. It already is. A certain relationship cannot be defined because it already is as it is, an absolute truth. The souls have agreed. And if you're not humble, you will not be able to see this. You will not be able to recognize someone as your guide or as your friend or as your potential divine partner or whatever if you have not dropped this ego that seeks, that desires, that is attached. And this is what I would say is the number 2 importance in transitional relationships. Drop this ego defense and being attached to someone, being either your friend or your lover. Or so many times men have thought, wow, this is this divine figure. She must be the one I'm searching for, because they themselves know that they have the same divine love essence core. But because someone can mirror this to them so intensely, they confuse this intensity with the intensity of emotion. Because a lot of times we still have these emotions that are linked to it. But when we purify from these lower emotions, we will only have the feeling. And the feeling is the divine sense. The feeling comes through your crown, directly linked with the higher chakric system. But the emotions come from here, from the lower levels, lower chakric system. So we're now transcending, of course, on the path of physical ascension. So until we do that, we are not pure enough to feel through neutrality what we are to each other in relation to in this physical life. What have you chosen, these sacred contracts? I also hear a lot of times people saying in the New Age, oh, you can have this decree, you just decree, I'm ready now on this level to release all my soul contracts, they're no longer needed, blah, blah, blah. You don't know on your physical level. How can you govern or dominate over your soul and your soul contracts that you have chosen? Of course we have overcome and transcended many things, but if you need no intention to gift your soul. Yes, so I cut all the cords, I cut all the sacred contracts I have. You don't know what kind of growth and benefit they will have in your life, so why would you do this? Why would you, through your ego, intend this? Because you don't want to experience? Because you're afraid of getting hurt? Yes, that's the thing. When emotions get involved, we want to protect ourselves. And so we think we're being good and kind to ourselves by doing these decrees. Basically, we're not doing them anything. You're not doing yourselves really a favor, because if you want to skip the steps, you're not really growing. And you cannot avoid experience, because experience is what creation is for. So many times, people have been hurt, and because of this hurt, they're preventing themselves to experience something. And only by approaching every situation, a new opportunity, with brand new eyes, like a pure innocent child of light that we are, divine love, we cannot really move forward. And we are really all asked to move forward. And that's why probably all these energies are now, will love prevail, the grand water trine, the energies of the summer. It's really intense. And we all have the ability and the constant flow to tune into that through our own source. So my beloveds, I would say first reason I already said and mentioned. The second one I also gave you now. Avoid attachment and idolizing each other, because it's not about that. And many times I say to people, I did not come here to be everyone's lover and best buddy and whatever. I came here to be mostly a guide. And I will recognize my partner and they will recognize me if it is so meant to be. And that is it. That's all I need to know. And that's all you need to know. What will be the third? should we come to this realization together? I would say the third would be to just trust. The third is the trust that you will know what to do when it's time. That in your personal, like I said, there's choices and experiences that will be personal in these shifts, that you will know what to do when it's time. If you're not guided to do anything, not guided to act on anything, it's just not time yet. When the soul is through you, through your body, when you're ready, to embrace that soul awareness through your own body, you will be ready, you will know. As long as you're still doubt taking the next step, it means you're still not there. So just trust, surrender, don't control the outcomes of these shifts in your relationships. And just trust. A lot of times people say, yeah, I feel to be with this person now. Maybe they're not what I envision, in the grander scheme. I'm not ready for that commitment because, on some level they feel this is not the right commitment. The thing is, when you are with your divine partner who will be of service together with you and you will create things together, not just cohabit or hold hands and that's it, you will know and you will have no fear of commitments because you already know you committed to this person before coming here. But these are such deep things that we need to come into understanding about. So as long as we're still searching, we're not trusting that it's already so, For example, it's like with the move. When you know you're moving, when your soul's so confident about it, when you feel it, you have no more need to control things. As long as we still control things, it means we still don't trust that it's going to happen anyway. So this would be my third one. Our third one, you helped me to come to this together, would be trust and surrender. So I hope this message helped you to come into the awareness of this and how to be in relationships. Oh, I need to mention this at the end, as I'm guided to. I just had my astrology reading done by my friend who is helping me with my webpage and the changing it, which will probably take all summer, but it will be done when it's divine timing. And he's also an astrologer. You can find him. His name is Athen. He's at Trans Astrology. And you can find the link on my official webpage. The link is below when I share my Divine Companions, the links that I resonate with. And he's really good. He just did, like a pro bono reading for me. And I want to mention something from the reading because he was applying to relationships. And he was mentioning, my North Node, which is kind of like your life path, being in 7th house of Gemini. And he was explaining some things, but I wish to expand now to move into the higher level. I remember listening to this woman speak about this once, how every archetype is different on different levels of awareness. As you know, there's different realms of experience, but the truth, the one truth of Source is one. And within these different realms and different stages of awareness, there will be multiple realities and experiences. And I remember this woman was saying, she gave an example of Gemini because that was the time, I think it was 2011, I'm not sure, but we had these moons in Geminis, we had these eclipses in Gemini, I think. She was mentioning how Gemini on the lower aspect of awareness represents this, positions and contrast and a lot of diversity and, the polarized opposites that come when creation is physical, when things become manifest. But on a higher level, with the Gemini, and of course, especially 7th house, which is relationships, it represents twin soul. It represents divine counterparts. It represents the two within one, creating the third. So the Gemini, the twins. You see, every archetype can have a different attributes, different expression, different way of how you will go through it. It's like different levels, different experiences. It really varies to where you are. So for me, I instantly knew this meant the twin soul path. So embodying your twin soul consciousness, the consciousness of your true divine love essence as you were created. And I know this is my path, and I know that's why this is in my chart. It's really simple. And remember, the eyes that have the awareness to see will always see. And relationships will always reflect the state of awareness you are in. And make the transitions according to your own natural rhythms and cycles. And don't be afraid to move on when your soul calls you to. And when you know you're ready, you will know. So take care, my beloveds. I love you lots. and I'll talk to you soon as I'm guided to. Much love and so many blessings. Bye.